morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Café con Leche. Today is Thursday, May 11th, and it is the official 3-year mark of the very first episode. The very first episode was the pilot, but the first official episode where we moved to our Tuesday, Thursdays started 3 years today. So welcome, everyone. I am the badass Buddha Lori Monaco. Remember when we used to do the long intros? I am a coach, a speaker, a teacher, chiropractor, wellness physician, and co-host to the fabulous Viva Café con Leche.
Yay! Hola, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita. I am your traveling magician. I am your author, writer, artist. I'm awesome. I don't think anything can overrun that. I am your end-of-life doula, your spiritual and creative healing life coach. I am La Margarita, your gladiator guru, and welcome to our 3-year anniversary. I wish I had sparklers, but this will do. So excited.
This is exciting. I can't believe it's been 3 years. And good morning. Francia is the first one to pop on this morning. And Francia is, she's such a pivotal player here too. She was one of our first guests. Like when we started having guests, she was more than happy to come on. Francia created our intro for Viva, which made us really I remember the first time that you sent it to me, Gladiator Guru, after she had created it, and it felt so like, oh my God, we're like professional, like we're really something with this, and it's such a to this day, like the song just gets me, it really gets me. So, and then there's Carmen Neves. Good morning. Carmen is also if it wasn't for Carmen, the show would not have been birthed. Carmen's the idea creator. She's the one that came up with it. She's the one that had the conversation with Gladiator Guru, and the rest is history. So thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for everything that you've done, supporting the show and supporting us and playing a huge role in the show.
Yes, gracias. Because you know what? We're a pandemic baby. And, we didn't allow fear, circumstances, environment, anything make us feel like we had to sit and wait. You know how they say, take your time, but hurry up. And that's what we did. And this is the product of it. And I think that's something that we can adapt to our everyday life. Take your time, just hurry up, which means, take your time, make sure you're going the right way, but then don't stop until you get there. And I think that trials and tribulations and our first year, just getting everything going and learning from calling people the night before to the Badass Buddha, setting up the monthly schedule with guests already signed up for it. Everything progresses, and then you learn from it, and then you only take away what works for each individual that way. So I think this was a great learning process for adaptations to our regular lives. So we thank you all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We've grown tremendously. We have matured. We have a special thing that we want to play. The thing is, I don't know if I want to wait a little bit, Gladiator Guru, because we don't really have a lot of people on, and I would love for them to actually see it. So why don't we'll set the intention, we'll do the mantra, and hopefully people will come on. As I don't know if they keep changing the algorithms all the time, because people, I don't think, are either alerted, or maybe they just don't want to get on. I don't know. But thank you, Carmen. Look at Carmen. She's so cute. We really appreciate the thank you. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe for those of you that are on. We're going to be speaking today. We're going to continue our conversation on belief, and we're going to be talking about who's right, who's wrong, what are the most common beliefs out there, and are our beliefs right or wrong, and what does that mean, And we're going to have a fantastic guest, Gail Kraft. Gail's been on numerous times, so it's lovely. This is going to be a great conversation with Gail. So let's set our intention. We'll do our mantra, and then we'll share our little surprise that we have. So as always on Viva Café con Leche, set your intention, be intentional today. What will your intention be for today?
And do it in gratitude. You know, I'm grateful that I could be outside today filming this. I think the people inside are grateful because there's family visiting from Connecticut, and you know I can get a little bit loud, and I don't know, they accuse me of that all the time. So they put me outside, but it's beautiful out here, so I'm loving it.
They put you outside. Somebody put baby in the corner.
My niece says, like, why don't you do it outside? It's kind of nice and breezy out there, but it's just because I guess my voice travels, and I am so okay with that. But it's beautiful out here. It's not steaming hot yet. So I'm grateful for the sun, for the birds singing in the background. And I'm grateful to be here today, this morning with all of you.
Yep. Absolutely. Did we plan? Like, did we both decide to wear yellow today?
Well, I guess the sun is drenching me out, but this is a bright neon orange.
Oh, is it? Oh my God, it looks yellow. That's funny.
I know it looks. I was looking at you too. Hola, Milagro. This is a bright orange, and I'm kind of like bummed that it's being washed out by the sun. And then this is like a green crystal necklace. And then I got my Wonder Woman things because that's how I feel today. Like, what?
And the green crystal necklace looks just like clear crystals. They don't look green at all. That's funny.
You see, so you know what they say, things aren't always what they seem.
That's true. All right. So good morning, everyone. So let's do our mantra, and then we've got a little special short little thing to share with you today. So say it loud, say it proud. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I keep it real.
All day, no doubt.
Good morning, Desiree. She is on. All right.
Hi, Desiree.
Right. She said, good morning, happy anniversary. And Milagro
I posted my good morning Viva live in 5, and it just now posted. So
live and now. Live and live. Okay.
Yeah. So much for this.
We have a little special thing that Francia created for us, and she did it. You know, we asked her very last minute. It's so funny. We had talked about the anniversary coming up, and then we just sort of, I don't know, we just let it fall out because we just, both of us have so much that we're doing, you know, and there's just whatever. So it kind of like all of a sudden snuck up on us, and Francia stepped in, you know, Gladiator Guru asked Francia to step in and see if she could create something quickly. And she did. And she created 2 things. And we're really happy to be able to play them. So we're going to do that right now.
I'm so happy she did that surprise. Like, she just surprised
us. I know.
Because I text her back after I got the video. I said, can you do the voiceover? Because the first video she made was me talking. And you know me, I'm like all over the place. And she didn't respond. And I was like, oh, it's probably too late. Okay. So I told the badass. I asked her, but here, we're going to go with it anyway. And then we get the surprise this morning. And I was like jumping all around the kitchen as I was making coffee. So that was a wonderful surprise.
That was. All right, here we go. We'll show that second one right after. Okay.
Oh my God. Wait, Lori, give me 30 seconds.
Yes.
Today is 3 years to the day that we aired the first Viva Café con Leche.
Oh my
God. Carmen Nieves. With Carmen, when I said happy May 9th, something clicked.
Yes,
today,
me too.
3 years to the day that we aired our first Viva Café con Leche, and Carmen Nieves, the whole genius behind Viva Café con Leche, was on that with us.
Woo! Oh my God, that's true. We talked a lot about her. So then we ended up getting this one.
Hello, ladies. Margarita Chapman Rodriguez, Gladiator Guru, and Dr. Lori Monaco, her badass Buddha. Congratulations on 3 years of your show and your podcast, Viva Café con Leche. Who knew that a conversation over coffee and chit-chatting and talking about life and change and things that we want to do would turn into a life's passion project? I can't tell you how proud I am and wish you many, many more.
To our viewers, listeners, our fans, our family, our friends, thank you for making this 3 years possible. To our amazing guests, thank you for showing up with us every day to talk about what matters. Thank you.
That was so great. That was so, you're muted, Gladiator Guru. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm muted.
There you go. Not anymore.
Oh no, because I didn't mute. I think to hear that, it just means that, we followed our purpose. I mean, we're still on that path for how long? Only God knows, but we followed it because those were beautiful words. So we thank you. I'm humbled. It's beautiful. I'm super excited.
It's been a fun 3 years. It's been, we've had so many conversations about so many different things. We've repeated a lot of stuff, but in so many different ways. And our guests have been so phenomenal. Like, we've had so many guests over the years. So it's been a big learning experience for me as well. We've learned how to do things that we never did before. We've learned how to, even just as far as the growth and the evolving of the show. Like, we've challenged ourselves to push ourselves and figure things out. I remember when we first started, we were just on Facebook. We weren't even, we weren't doing YouTube. And then I would upload we would do Zoom, and then I would upload the video, and then I would upload it to YouTube. And then we would just put it there. And then we started to create the front card so that when, the videos were up there, we'd have like a card that would show what the show was about. And it was just, some of it was a little painful, in the interim of growing. We started the reason we even switched to StreamYard was because we started having so much trouble logging in with Zoom and Facebook. And it was just, this was great to evolve to this one. We love this platform that we use, StreamYard. And it's been so interesting. So it's been great. We've had so much fun doing it. Good morning, Edita.
It was fun. There was never a time that I got up and like, oh shit, I gotta get up and do Viva. I mean, everybody knows I suffer insomnia, so there are times I don't get to sleep till 4 to get up at 7 and then be freaking fabulous. So it takes a lot of energy, but never was there, I don't want to do this, I'm tired. I mean, I would go away and do it. Badass Buddha was on her road trip, and she did it. She was in Costa Rica. I was in Spain and Portugal. We did it.
Wasn't always the best connections, but we did it.
But we did it. We showed up. They always say, show up. Just show up. Start where you're at. And that's what we did, And although in Spain, I only could come on, I think it was Tuesdays, because Thursdays, Badass had a guest. So it was quite difficult on some parts. Some days I had to take a cab to the nearest cafe because I wasn't going to be able to walk there on time to log in. So those were the sacrifices that were made because we wanted to do it. We wanted to show up. So I think that's how it is in life. It's not about how much talent you have. It's the discipline you have to push that talent forward. We're all millionaires inside ready to break out. We need to stop self-sabotaging. Just show up for yourself. Show up with yourself with your hair all over the place, no makeup. It doesn't matter. Just show up for yourself, because then that self-belief and that self-trust in yourself will carry you to wherever it is you need to be.
That's why this is such a great time for this to happen. This is such a great conversation. You know, today we're going to bring Gail on, and we're talking about who's right, who's wrong, what are the most common beliefs out there, and we're really specifically saying, like, if we believe a certain way, are we right or are we wrong? And if somebody else believes a certain way, and what are those beliefs? Good morning, Megan Ryan. And the thing is that we believed in this show, and we believed that we could do it. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We just put it out there, and nobody ever, like, it never crossed our minds that this would not work. It never crossed our minds that we were going to be struggling or have problems. Like, Gladiator Guru believed in me enough to reach out and say, I want you to co-host with me. And we both believed in each other to know that we would be able to just pull stuff together. We would have meetings, but even then we would take notes, but we still, like, we never knew what was going to come out of our mouths on that day. And that's all about the belief, because we believed in the idea of the show. We believed in the show. We believed in our capabilities. And so that's why this is a really, really good, a beautiful way to start this conversation. Good morning, Shiana Barros.
Shiana, hola, Muka, and Nancy. Let me tell you.
Good morning, a lot of great people.
Yeah, Shiana Barros, Muka, that's my cousin. Naisha Sanabria is my cousin. Mwah, thank you for coming on, Naisha. Let me tell you, today's conversation is very important, because this is 3 years in the making. Every Tuesday and Thursday for 3 years that the Badass Buddha and I have come on. And trust me, we talk, we share, and we say it live. How when we disagree with each other, because that's what life is. That's what being an independent thinker is. You don't want everybody to agree with you. And if you're going to bring a point to the table, make sure you have enough backup, because not everybody's going to see your point of view the way it is. So you got to use discernment on what they're seeing and what you're seeing and what is. And that's how we should be able to get along in life, because I don't want everybody agreeing with everything I have to say. No, challenge me. You know, so I believe that even though we've been live, we talk, we're always, behind the scenes and on live, we don't agree all the time with one another. And we share that with one another. And it's fine. I think that's what true life experiences and relationships are. Let's agree to disagree and learn from what we're agreeing and disagreeing about. That's how we learn one another.
I like what Desiree wrote. I'm singing in my mind, "Don't Stop Believing." Hell yeah. And that's a great song, by the way.
Sing it, Laura.
My throat. Don't stop believing. I can't sing like he does. He's got such a good voice. All right. So let's get Gail in on this conversation, and let's get rocking and rolling, talking about who's right, who's wrong. So Gail, when you come on, my dear, go ahead and quickly introduce yourself for those that don't know you. This is the first time that they're seeing you. And let's get this conversation going. So there is Miss Gail. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
That's right. The Flintstones.
See, you sang I did. Lori laughed.
What an honor to be on your show on your anniversary. Thank you so much. So hello, everybody. I'm Gail Kraft. I'm an empowerment master. I have a podcast, and I am an author, and I am a dear friend of these amazing women, and I have strange perspectives on life.
And I just want to say I am humbled. I received your package. Oh. Thank you for your beautiful words.
Yes.
And for allowing me to own your books, because to me, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I have to tell you, it's very interesting that we're holding a conversation on what's right and what's wrong, because that's all perception. And we started this with you wearing a bright orange shirt, and our perception is that it's yellow.
Yep. And I like it because it makes my boobs look nice and firm.
Oh!
Is that a perception or is that actual?
It does not matter.
That's my fact.
That's right. It's her reality. It's her reality. And so color is literally just a reflection of light.
That's right.
Right. And life is just a reflection of ourselves, which for me is a hard pill to swallow sometimes, right? Is that something playing out in front of me is reflecting back who I am, what my beliefs are. And when I think about that, like if I'm pissed off at my daughter for having an attitude, I have to stop and go, is that me? Is that really me? And I would say that 100% of the time it is me. It is me, right? So let's get this ball rolling, guys.
Okay.
You said that, and last night I was having a conversation with my ferocious chihuahua, also known as Tiffany, and she's going off on this tangent, and I'm trying to be the reasoning behind it. She had every right to be upset, but the way she wanted to handle it is Margie back in the day. So I couldn't even be mad at her because that's what she was raised with, minus the bat in her hand. And I'm trying to talk, and she's reminding me of who I was, and like she couldn't believe I couldn't understand her. And so yeah, it was something that I had to take a step back from my me now, recognize the me from yesterday, and understand her completely. And we diffused the situation. And I felt so like I'm finally an adult. I'm adulting right now.
Oh, I love that adulting word. I love that word.
And we ended up with I love you, mommy. And I love that my 37-year-old still calls me mommy.
Right.
And so that what you just said, it does, because you got to sit back, and I can't be mad at her, and because I'm this new person, I can't force it upon her, because where does she come from? She's Margarita all day, no
Right.
doubt.
Right.
So
It's the universe holding up a mirror. And honestly, as an empowerment master, that's really all I do, is just like hold up a mirror. So we're talking about what's right and what's wrong. And what's interesting
who's right and who's wrong? Who's
right and who's wrong? It's really all about perception and truths versus lies. So I will say that let's start off with understanding why we always think we're right, and maybe someone else is right.
That's going to be so interesting. I'm going to learn so much.
Well, we'll do it from our subconscious's job is to keep us safe. And part of keeping us safe is being sure that we are always right. We're doing the right thing. And so it really is your subconscious mind going above and beyond. I look at that as like your mind is a company. Your conscious mind is the CEO, the boss, saying this is what you do. And your subconscious mind are the worker bees. So you get a bunch of these little worker bees. And then if your conscious mind is not giving clear direction, what do the worker bees do? Whatever the hell they want. Right? They go on. Well, you told me to keep you protected, but you went a little bit too far there. Right? And in your subconscious mind, don't get mad at it. So here's another thing. Coaches today will say, take care of ego, hold ego down. Well, like I just said, your subconscious mind has a job, has a purpose, right? It's your early warning system. It's telling you something is wrong. It's when you attach a story to it, right, that you start building that into something that is maybe not true. And this is where the right and the wrong comes in, right? Because we live in a world of stories. None of this is real. None of this is real. It is simply the meaning that we attach to a situation. So let's talk about emotions. I love this. You'll see this a lot on my social media lately. Emotions last for literally no more than 90 seconds, maximum a minute and a half. So I'm feeling that emotion, right? Well, why is it an hour later I'm still like feeling that emotion, maybe bawling my eyes out or screaming or whatever? It's because I've attached a story to that experience.
Yep.
And so I've now created something different than what actually really happened. And so this is where we get who's right or who's wrong. And that's where a lot of stories come up. If you're in a discussion with somebody, so I don't know, Lori, if we can even have opposing I don't think we have opposing views on anything. But what happens now for me, if I'm talking with someone and I say, well, the sky is blue and there's a bunch of fluffy clouds, and they say, well, no, it really is kind of pink. I'll stop and I'll think, like, perception. Okay, so why do they see it that way in their eyes? And there are times when the sky is pink, right? And I will just kind of try and look at, why are they looking at it this way? Does someone else see it that way? Does someone else see it differently than me? How about, when was the last time you looked at a cloud and saw animals or forms or creatures in the clouds? I know as a child, I saw them all the time. Were they real? Right? Or was it my imagination? I used to, in the tile floors, the little squiggly designs, I would see dogs and cats and people in the, right, in the squiggles, right? Or eyes looking at me. And sometimes I'd be like, stop looking at me. Right?
I still do. It's not even, there's my tile in my bathroom, in the shower, in the main bathroom. I see this side, like, profile of a woman. It's funny.
Right? Yeah. Right. Is she taking a shower? Or is she just watching you?
No, she's just she's like posing. It's funny. It's like as if it's from a painting or something.
Yep. See, and that's because we're looking at the light and the dark in a certain way. It's like, Gladiator Guru's shirt. It's because of the reflection of that sun washing out the bright orange, and what we saw. There we go. See, that's the real color.
That's freaky. That's
right. She got rid of the light, and so color is just a reflection, right? Yes, color is just a reflection of light. And Margie, you just proved that to us.
You see, I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve.
Yep, you just did a little experiment.
Well, you brought before, because I got to jump off in a minute, just for a few minutes to bring my kids to the bus stop. But you brought up a very good point: is our perception. What happens is we perceive something a certain way, and then we believe it to be that way, and then we stick to that belief, and we keep it. I'm sorry, there's a lot of background noise, and everybody's getting ready to walk out the door. The dogs are going nuts. So and there's a movie, and I want to say it really quickly, called What the Bleep Do We Know?
Right.
And it's a fantastic movie. If nobody's ever seen it, definitely get a chance to see it. What the bleep do we know? But there's this one scene where the woman who got cheated on and screwed over by her husband, she's very angry, and she's a photographer, and she's at a wedding, and she sees these two people go off and like are fooling around, and she sees it's the groom and one of the bridesmaids, and she goes apeshit, like she's so angry. And then he comes walking out from like someplace else, and the bridesmaid comes out from the bridesmaid doesn't come out. He comes walking out. She screams, like that he's a cheater, and everybody looks at her, and then all of a sudden the people that were behind come out, and it's a bridesmaid and some other guy. And what happened was because of what she had gone through, her perception was off, and then her belief was off. And so it was it just proved that, like, if you are coming from a certain type of emotion, if you're coming from a certain experience, you will perceive things that way, and then you will create a belief off of those. And then from that point going forward, unless you change that belief and that and see better, then you will always believe that way.
Well, and you can create situations which will validate your belief.
Yes.
But you can create situations that will devalue your belief as well. Right? Because we create our reality. We create our circumstances. One of the toughest things when I'm working with clients is having them realize the role that they play on their health. Right? And it is your belief, it is your perception, right? I was raised in a very angry environment. Anger issues. Yes, I had quite a few anger issues. I think Gladiator Guru and I have talked about a few things where, I think I've done that too. Right? And so the softening of Gail meant taking down the walls, which ego fought against, for sure. And so doing that, I had to be sure that ego knows that I still love it, that I still care for it, and I
Absolutely.
still rely and depend on its job. Right. And so that's the trick, is for us not to harm ourselves in our attempt to grow. Right. Not to create even more harm, because what happens is we close down. And I closed down at some point in my attempt to grow. I closed down out of
Yes.
fear. Right. And then coming to that reality that, and that's coming to that reality. What is reality anyway?
I think to come to that safety within ourselves, because when I was trying to take a leap of faith to the center of me, you're either peaceful or you're chaos. And that's all I knew, moments of peace and days of chaos. You had those little smiles in between, the little laughter, but then you had the chaos. So to find that medium made me feel weak and pathetic when I was trying to cross over. That pendulum was swinging, and I was like, I'm not going that way. I got to be who I am, not to become who they were, in my perception of who they were. So yeah, it was, but it was a battle, and it was hard, because I felt like I was losing me.
You were.
And yeah, but I was holding on to her for dear life. Now she's not gone. She's in the back seat waiting to pop off the minute that she needs to show up. But now that I am on the other side of my survival mode, it's so much better. I feel such I'm just so in love with myself.
Like, it's just crazy.
It is the wealth of knowing that you discover within yourself, the strength, the courage, that you don't have to always be ready. It's like, it's whatever now. It's like, I see you looking at me, looking at you. We're going to leave it at that right now. There's only so many chances I'll give somebody, but I'm going to leave it there now. And I can walk away with no problem. So yeah, it's the health part of my existence that's priority to me.
Well, and a lot of times we will hang on to jobs, relationships, situations, because
people, places, and things.
Right? People, places, and things, because we believe that integrity puts us there. Man, integrity, I learned that integrity lesson such a hard way, right? Just because you made a commitment to something, if you wake up and realize this is not healthy for you, then integrity to yourself first. You need to extricate yourself from the situation.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely, 100%.
Right? Because otherwise you will physically, emotionally, spiritually suffer for it.
And maybe catch a case. Because if you don't leave that job, someone's going to really push the wrong button. Yeah. That's what I'm dealing with right now. So now I just smile, because that movie takes me back, where she had anger issues, and they taught her how to smile, and says, I never did let the little things bother me.
Oh, let me tell you a joke. Oh, okay. And we're going to swear. Sorry, guys. We're going to swear. Okay. So this is a couple of Southern belles at tea. And one is sitting there and says, well, my husband, he got me this diamond ring for my anniversary. And the other one goes, that's nice. Well, and my husband, he's buying me a Maserati for Christmas. And the other one goes, well, that's nice. And the first one goes, and then my husband, we're going on a vacation next spring to Europe, and we're not coming back for 6 weeks. And the second person goes, well, that's nice. So the first one says, so what's your husband done for you anyway? And the second one says, well, my husband sent me to etiquette school, and they taught me to always say, that's nice, rather than fuck you.
You see, and to have that much self-control, you're winning. You're wealthy.
Well, and the thing is, does it matter who's right or who's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of things, you're both right and you're both wrong.
That's it.
Quite frankly. Because there is no truth. There just is. And that's really so what's really interesting, because there is kind of a truth, but I'm actually planning, and this is after talking to my spiritual leader yesterday, and he's like, holy shit, yes, of doing a kind of like a little, it might be live, it might be recorded, I don't know, but it's tell me your lies and I'll uncover your truth. Because we've all learned a bunch of lies. So let's start.
My mother's favorite quote, I'm sorry, she used to say,
I love you.
She used to say, I just lost it. So, I lost it. I'll get back.
Okay, so tell me your lies, and I'll show you your truth. That's where
ask me no questions. I'll tell you.
And I'll tell you no lies. Right.
That's what my mom always used to say.
Right, and that's a fact. I've been on the journey since the fall of really looking at, well, how is that not true? Because we were raised with, all of us, by the way, with a belief system that had a nugget of truth and then lies wrapped around it in order to control as children. Children should be seen and not heard. Why? That has nothing to do with the child. It has to do with the parent doesn't want to bother with you right now. Right? It has so and should children be seen and not heard? Absolutely not. They're brilliant. They're still connected to source and they're going to tell you the truth.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right. You want like that.
Yes, a pure perception of what's going on. Ask a 4-year-old.
Yeah, we weren't raised like that. And we were raised when we were getting reprimanded, when we were being asked if what the neighbor said was true, look at me when I speak to you. And I've met so many people in my age group that they were not allowed to look at their parents when they were being spoken to. And I was like, my father was like, look at me when I speak to you. And then my father, who used to physically abuse my mother, never hit us, would say, if somebody tells me something and I come here and I'm asking you, you better tell me what's the truth. Some parents don't want to hear from the kid. And that's how I raised my kid. And if I would say, no, that's not what happened, it was his kid, guess where we went? To the neighbor's house together.
Right.
That's how I raised my kids, because I needed to teach them how to stand up for themselves and to walk in truth. Because my daughter lied to me the first time, and I took her, and then she never lied to me after that about something that someone said or did. And I think that's how the truth is like my favorite quote, when life asks death, why do people love me but hate you? And death responded, because you are a beautiful lie and I am the painful truth. Life, death, that's truth. And
that's truth. That's truth. So I wrote down 2 words, resistance and contrast. Right. And for two different reasons. So contrast, let's talk about contrast. So we talk about, bad things happen. Shit happens in life. Why does that happen? Because we're here to create. So think about this first. So we come from the creator because we are creators. And so contrast tells us what we don't like. So this doesn't feel, you feel it in your body, right? And so what do? Well, if I don't want this, that's what I do want. Well, God damn it, go for it. But we don't do that. We put a story around the contrast and we wallow in it and we make that our truth. And meanwhile, the opposite, this beautiful thing is calling out to you, manifest me, manifest me, manifest me, manifest the opposite. Right. And you're ignoring that calling until you start feeling the resistance in your body. Right. And so your body tells you that something is off. I listen to my body first. If something happens and I react, the first thing I do is look into my body. right? What's going on? Am I reacting because this is something that is against my values, my core values? Or am I reacting because ego wants me to be right? Why am I reacting? Right? And 99.9% of the time, it's ego wants to be right. But that 0.1% of the time when it's my values, then I have to reinforce my boundaries. Right? That's where I am right when my values are being crossed because they're my values and they're important to me. So you really know your values, your core values, and defend them to death. Do you, right? Defend them. I will defend my community. I will defend my tribe. I will defend truth. I will defend authenticity because those are my top values. Does that make sense? Because I
Yeah.
can be going on. Right? And so what is, I mean, I don't even know what is right and what is wrong. I don't even understand that anymore.
Go ahead, badass.
Well, it's not specifically like saying this is right, this is wrong. It's when we ourselves, because this is all about belief for ourselves. Like,
right?
It doesn't matter what somebody else says. It's matter what you think about yourself and what you think about life. And so if you say, well, that's wrong, I'm not going to do that because that's wrong, or you say, oh, I like that, that's right. The other person next to you could say, well, I don't agree with that. I think what you said is right is not. And then what I think you said is wrong is not. And so we have to, this is all about personal belief. This is how we believe. It's not so much what we want to put on as somebody else. It's believing in what we're doing, understanding self. So we need to take a look at our beliefs. We need to really sit down and write them. What do we believe about ourselves? What do we believe ourselves to be? And then ask ourselves, is this right or wrong? Like if we say, oh, you're not smart enough to be able to do that. You're not bright enough to be able to make that much money. You're not, you've been hurt too many times. You're not good enough to be, you'll never get into a healthy relationship. You'll never be a good mom. Like if these are things that we're saying to ourselves, we have to write these down, which we've been telling everybody to do. And then we have to ask ourselves, is this correct? Because we're living a life saying that it's correct. And the goal is to say, no, I mean, what makes me think that I'm a bad mother? What makes me think I'm not good and I can't find a healthy relationship? What makes me believe this? Where is that coming from? Where is that information coming from? So you have to like dive into that and then basically go and then change it after that. So it's when we say, who's right, who's wrong, who's you're everything that you believe yourself to be is correct because you are believing that about yourself. So it's
and let me say what you're saying. I wrote down, that means I feel shame, guilt, and low self-esteem. When we feel shame, and we all do, shame on you, little girl, stop doing that. We were raised with shame, guilt, and low self-esteem. Then what you believe about yourself is a lie. Because none of us should feel shame. None of us should feel low self-esteem, and none of us should feel guilt. Changing that, though, is where the work that we do, right, begins. Right? So go ahead.
And what's right and wrong when we get out of what, I had written this article and I'm writing this article and it didn't seem like in fair thing. And I wrote it all. So I reached out and I paid someone to edit it for me. And she made simple changes in grammar and sent it back to me and said, you did not need to pay me for this. But I did it because I was having self-doubt about writing something out of my norm.
Right.
It was something so out of my norm. And some things, I told her, I'm sarcastic, I'm blunt, I'm sassy. All I want to know is the fact checking behind it. And she changed just when I say like I missed a comma there, she changed a line from here and put it on the second row so that it can ebb and flow better. And I was very proud of it. And it's just basic steps. It's feed your spirit, kindness and gratitude. Nurture your ego to dispel the anxiety, which is the fear, and that's why we make poor decisions. Love your body exactly where it is. And the reason this article was so important was for that third one, because all of my life I bullied it, the shame of being, overweight or chunky or fluffy or fat, whatever I called myself at whatever given time. So I had to learn how to love it because my body suffered more trauma than my thoughts, than what I thought I suffered.
Right, because your body will reflect what you ignore.
It keeps score.
Because we'll ignore the pain that we put ourselves through, because that's, again, your subconscious mind keeping you safe, right? Even though your subconscious mind is telling you that you're shameful, it's going to keep you safe from the pain of that. And your body is feeling the stress. And eventually your body says, hey, wake up. Wake up. Yeah. And I don't know about any of you. I'll give you a quick story about me when I used to ignore my body, because that's where everything shows up first for me. I am an A-type personality, go, 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 go. Okay. And there was a time when I think I was 16, 17 years old, up at 6 o'clock in the morning, at school by 7, done with school at 1 o'clock, at work by 1:30, out of work at 9 o'clock and home by 9:30, did my homework, went to sleep, did it again. Oh, by the way, I had a social life too, right? I ended up crying at work for no reason and for 3 days in a ball in the bed because I was having an emotional and physical breakdown because of the stress I was putting myself through that I was ignoring. And that's what will happen. Your body will take you out. It'll give you hints, rest, slow down, take a breath. And when you don't, it'll say, okay, there you go.
That's it. I'm going to drop you like a hot potato. That's
drop you like a hot potato, right?
So that was the third one. And the fourth one was to unfuck your thoughts. When we keep all of that bullshit in our minds going back and forth, it keeps us in yesterday and fearing tomorrow. So what does it say about your today? We're not here. We're like, oh my God, because this happened, then I know that's going to happen. And what the fuck is happening right now is
you miss out today.
Whirlwind that you put yourself in. You're not even in the eye of the tornado. You are the tornado. Right. All confused and disruptible. That's a word. And then the last one was to sit in your peace and invite your power back. And that's what this is. What's right? What's wrong? The arguing with people I was always maybe I still am. I'm not going to say that. But I was very, very, very opinionated. Like in your face, opinionated. I don't know if Lori can say that. I'm still like that. I don't know. But I am. But you don't understand. And then my voice elevates. So people think I'm arguing or they think I'm mad. And I say, I'm just passionate. But maybe I am mad because you're not getting what I'm saying. And why aren't you understanding? Like, wake the fuck up. And then so I have to take a step back and say whether they know, or they're not just reacting the way I'm expecting them to react with this and that. Or they'll say, yeah, but you don't understand, or but you don't know. And that but is what just fucks up the whole conversation.
Well, they're hanging on to their story with that but, right?
That but
so here's an exercise for any of you listening that you could do, that a friend of mine does. When you have that thought that you know is a negative thought, right? So it's, something about my self-esteem or anger or whatever. So start journaling all of the evidence that this thought is true. And you just write until you're exhausted. Then write all the evidence that this thought is false. And you write until that. And what happens is you start you diminish the energy and you uncover the truth. Remember, the lie is wrapped around the truth. The truth is a little seed in the middle of the lie. And that's how we have lived our life. When you do that and you uncover that nugget, that's the truth, it'll free you. it'll free you. So it's simple
And the
exercise.
question is, we all know the truth is going to set us free. We all know that acknowledging a truth is going to have us change paths. The question is, do you want a better life? Do you want to see things for what they are? Or do you want to keep living in a facade and ignoring it and hoping it goes away? And to me, that's where people are. And sometimes I have to take a step back, because people are going to live the way it suits them. I see potential in people, so I try to help them knock those walls down. But they're holding on to that type of life for their life, because they don't want to open their eyes to what is, to what they can change, what can be different in their life. And I can't be Captain Save-A-Hole. And I say that all the time. And then you see me trying to be Captain Save-A-Hole. And then I get all upset and into this whirlwind, because sometimes we can see the beauty in people. And they're like not looking at it. They're not realizing the potential, the courageous parts of themselves. That all
Well,
they
you have to show up where people are at in order for them to listen. I'm going to give another example. A friend of mine who is also a coach, we used to have an office together back in the day. And we were talking about, the evolution that we go through. And so think of it like a spiral staircase going up as we become more aware, and leave our baggage behind. She said, Gail, if I'm at rung 8 and someone is at rung 5, they don't even understand my language. We cannot communicate. And I have to leave them there and hope that they catch up, because I'm not going to step down.
Exactly.
Because I have to energetically step down to do that. And I can't.
And that's right? What upsets me.
Don't get trapped in the savior, perpetrator, victim.
That's what I'm saying. No, Captain Save-A-Hole mentality.
It's a trap.
What would upset me is that why can't you get it? Like, you don't have to suffer all the years that I did to reach where I'm at. I had to suffer all of that to be the messenger for you, to help.
But you can say, I see the beauty in you, and when you're ready to stop the suffering, I'm here for you.
Yep, that's what I've been saying. I'm here. I'm a phone call away.
Yep, that's all you.
But I
know exactly.
Yeah, it's a badass. What did you feel when she was telling you about journaling? Journaling until you bring it all out, because I know you were journaling yesterday. How did that make you feel? You were writing, right?
Yeah. It was good. I agree. I definitely agree. I think the hardest thing, and even Desiree said it, she's like, journal to you until you uncover the truth. And I think that's sometimes where you feel like you want to stop. You have to like keep going, because we usually want to stop as we're getting towards the truth. And you hesitate, like you because you know that that's going to put you into a completely different place. So when you feel that hesitation stop, you got to keep going, because what's going to flow out is going to be what you feel and what's real.
Oh, it's really hilarious. I have a quantum linguistic exercise that I'll put someone through, and I ask a series of questions. And by the end, they're fighting me. They don't want to answer the question. Right. And I'm like, stop analyzing the question, just answer it. Right. First, those that do, because if you fight, then you're not ready to let go. And I can't force you to let go. Right. But those who are ready, when they finish, they're like, oh, and my last statement, my last question is, you ready for this, guys? What were you pretending not to know to think you even had a problem?
Oh, I like that.
What were you pretending, because nothing is real, not to know, because you know everything, to think that you even had a problem?
I like that.
Right? And they're like, they don't even remember the problem. If they don't fight the process, if they fight the process, then the story they're hanging on to is serving them. And we have to first deal with this thing serving you. Right?
You're victim or victor. But, you know, when I tell people things, I always say, you know, I see the warrior in you. Let's battle beautifully. Because it doesn't have to be an all bloody bath. It's just showing up. Exactly.
It can be a dance. It doesn't have to be battle. It can be a dance.
And unzippering the layers. That's all it is.
Yep.
You see how I put your book cover in this
I
conversation?
know, and it's really funny because again, I was talking to my guru mentor, and we talked about us being an avatar, right? In the book that I'm writing, I refer to humans as avatars and explain why. And he said, there is a time coming very soon where we're going to unzip the avatar and see the light that we really are. And that's the beauty that we're holding ourselves back from experiencing. By hanging on to the weight, we don't see the light and the beauty in everything. I mean, I look at the dog now and I can almost hear what she's thinking. I know that she needs to go out long before she tells me, because I'm like, oh, I can feel it. All right, let me finish up what I'm doing and go get ready to take her out. I can feel what's going on. And that, I mean, without words, and I think that's where we're going when we talk about this enlightened experience, is that we're going to such an awareness that we're going to know. Like Lori, what we were talking about, I want to touch on that too. We were talking about almost communal living, right? So think about source for a minute. Source is all spirits energetically existing in different dimensions. It's the collective, an energetic collective. And what you're looking for, and I love this perspective, is creating enlightened collection of people. So it's not a commune, it is a collection or a collective, right, of people who help elevate each other and help others elevate, because we just are at this level and we want more, and we want to share, and we want to give in and stop resisting, give in to who we are. I kind of got off track, but that's who we are.
You're muted, Gladiator Guru.
Yep. How come you mute yourself, baby?
You're muted.
I don't know. My computer didn't. There was a.
Nope. You did it again. It shut you off. Take a look at your microphone. You're good. No, you're bad. You're off.
Hit it one more time. I think it's like...
Hit it once. Oh.
There you go. Yeah, it's like catching it twice.
It's very sensitive today.
So, I just want to, Desiree, journal the lie until you uncover the truth. After I read it, and then Badass Buddha said it, and then I read it again. I was like, wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's like
exactly
that.
What happens.
Afterwards.
That's exactly, and that's being here now.
Mm-hmm.
That's not living in the past. That's not letting it control you. That's okay. This thing came up. I'm feeling it in my body. I want to understand, is this truth or not? So journal.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Badass, you want to share something?
Sounds great. This sounds perfect. This is I love how Desiree is saying, like, this is what she needed. Like, this is priceless. She's been struggling the last 2 weekends. And if these feelings come up again, I have tools to bring me through the struggle. So that's the point. That's why we do these shows, is to help you move past those things, to help you be the better version of yourself. If you've been struggling or if you're not seeing the results you want, or you're not in the place that you wanted to be, we have to always look at ourselves. It's us that's not allowing ourselves to be where we need to be.
Right.
And so we need to really ask ourselves the right questions. Why? Like, why am I preventing myself? What are the beliefs that are holding me back? And then from these beliefs, because next month we start talking about behaviors and habits, and how those beliefs become your behaviors and habits, and then they keep repeating the cycle over and over again. So This is where we really have to get down and dirty, even if it's uncomfortable. And if you get stuck, then that's what coaches are for. The coaches are for to help you move past that
stuckness,
stagnation.
So I do want to say one thing about maybe what Desiree has been feeling. I know that when we had the full moon and the eclipse that morning, I woke up and I was very agitated. And I knew there was no reason for me to feel like something didn't happen to trigger me. I was feeling really pissed off and really right for no reason. And so my daughter, I mentioned it to my daughter and she said, well, you know, it's the full moon. And I went, oh, okay. And then when I gave into, okay, it has nothing to do with anything other than I'm feeling a pull on the earth, right? Because the moon pulls water, it's going to pull us too. And I decided to lean into it. And in the leaning into it, I literally felt my body tingle throughout my body. And this is the time when our body is getting in tune. It's literally like a tuning fork. Is getting in tune for the next experience, the next elevation, the next evolution that we're ready for. And so if it's not, and that's what journaling will say, you know, well, nothing happened. I'm just feeling this way. Well, then, okay, so universe, why am I feeling this way? And just give into it and just feel it. Just feel the feeling.
I think
it's like, okay, go ahead.
We need to realize, see, my mantra is Father Yahweh, me, and then everybody else. And there are those sneak peek moments where I don't put myself before certain situations until the power of no. That is such a beautiful song, along with my laughter. Laughter is my favorite song, but then saying, no, I don't want to do it. No, I can't do it. Maybe later. That's very powerful. And I think that, you know, it's like they say every night you go to bed and you say a prayer. And then every morning you meditate, because at night you're asking for something. And when you meditate in the morning, you're saying, I'm ready to receive what the answers are or what the direction is that I'm going. And I think that we really gotta not worry about people, places, and things, and believe in ourselves to the point where we are saying a prayer and then meditating and believing and feeling that gut intuition that always takes us in the right direction. We mistrust it, but it never has failed us.
I think always telling us the truth. That's where the truth is.
We need to trust the body language. The body is speaking volumes, but we'd rather have the thoughts. Believe this, you know. So learn how to unfuck your thoughts so that you can be feeding your spirit with enough nutrition, with enough kindness and enough gratitude, so that you can trust it enough to guide you. We are empowered beings, yet we throw it away or we give it to someone else to control us, and then we complain. So what is right?
We forget. Right? We go to sleep. We ignore the thing. The thing is, there's so many things. When we focus on ourselves, like Gladiator Guru does, right? When we focus on who we are and how we're connected, then the community that we should be connecting with shows up. I mean, I don't know how I met you, Laura. I think I went to a networking event. I don't think I've ever been there again.
Yeah, me either.
Right? And like, hey. Right? You never know where someone or something that aligns with you is going to show up. But if you're blocked, right, we would never have connected. This would never have happened, right? And so you open yourself up to community by focusing on clearing yourself.
Absolutely.
Self first, community comes in.
That's the story with the badass Buddha and I. That is the story, right? We met by somebody we both know, and you spoke at our very first Ajusta tu Corona, and then we talked a couple times, and then nothing, and then we came back together shortly, and then Viva came up, and now, like, we harass each other with the text. I can't talk right now. I have a splitting headache, or, oh my God, I'm on the phone here, or what are you doing? Or, hey, are we on this call or not? And that is how, when you're your true self, nothing is offensive. until it is. But those little things are not offensive because we are in that space where we're growing separately in our own endeavors, and we're supporting each other in those endeavors, which have nothing to do with one another. And then we come collectively for a vision that we have, that it's inclusive of both of us and our time and our talents. And I think
Right.
that's the beauty. Do we get along? I mean, do we agree on everything all the time? Not at all. Do we explain it so that you might have a clearer perception as to why I'm doing it or why I'm thinking this way? Yes. But do we force anything upon each other? No. Do we check each other all the time? Because that's what friendship is as well. Like,
Right.
hold up. You're swimming upstream and I don't do that. And so let's bring it back. Let's break it down. And we do that for one another. And I think things happen. You get a job like I do, and you look around and you're like, wow, there's even more assholes in the world than I believe to be. You know, the cruelty of people was like such a shocker that it almost paralyzed me at one point. The cruelty to the elders. So you see all of this, and then you have to see all of this to make a better decision as to wherein lies your truth and your
Right.
falsehood.
That's contrast, showing you what you want, and now you head towards what you want.
Exactly. So life is sweet and sour, and you can't have one without the other. So enjoy them both
Right.
when you can, and when you
Right.
feel you can't, still try to enjoy them both, because it's
Mhm.
one life you have. It's life is short, but it's the longest journey you will travel. Why not travel it well for you, not for everybody else?
Right.
And
And
with that, I believe we have
yeah,
to
we're
wrap
at
it
the
up, right?
journey. We've met the end of the journey for today's show.
For today.
And then
But this,
some. I think we went an hour and a half the first time I was on.
Yeah, we would go longer, but I actually have an appointment that I can't miss. So so Gail, thank you so much for coming on,
yes,
and thank you for being part of our third anniversary show. You know, it was a really good one, and you left everybody with some really juicy nuggets, and we're really thankful for that, and we're hoping that people will watch after to be able to write down what they couldn't write down. So thank
Right.
you so much for
absolutely.
being here today, Gail. Anything else,
It's
Gladiator Guru, you want to add?
No, just thank you to everybody who's been a part of our lives for this past 3 years. It's not, we didn't come up whenever. We showed up every Tuesday and Thursday. Rain, sleet, snow, sunshine. We showed up. And it has been great. I mean, the hiccups, I can say phenomenal. And a lot of thanks for the badass Buddha for doing all the behind the scenes prep, because I told her from jump, that's not my gig. So she's like, I got it. So that was wonderful. Today's title was wonderful, and that was her geniusness. So thank you, because together we rise.
That's right.
We gotta want it.
All
And that's
right.
it.
So thank you everybody for coming on. Have an absolutely fabulous weekend. Next week, we're going to be talking about rewiring your brain, how to move past those limiting beliefs. And it's a 2-part. So it's a Tuesday, Thursday. So we'll see you then. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.